Hi, so Roman. I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian artist. Where are you watching from, if I may ask? Today it is just about the basics. Today we'll see how realistic we can draw an eye using just pencils. Thank you so much for joining live. Please subscribe and live and do comment. So here I am just making the basic lines. So if you can see here, this is not like an oval eye. It is a spherical ball like kind. So you just have to keep that in mind. So the pupil like this, an eyeball is like this. So that is the only reason why this upper lips and lower lip of the eye, you know, you can feel this prolonged. So here is the here is the teardrop. It should look like this, not straight one. Well, Roman, yeah. But I'm not an Australian painter, Austrian painter. I'm an Indian. I'm from India. Thank you so much for the likes and the views. Thank you so much for coming to my live. I appreciate. So here we'll leave some spaces for the highlights. There is a couple of highlight. The light is coming like this and being a shiny little as if. So here's the teardrop. First, just make the drawing correct. Shading and all that will go easy, you know. Your basic structure of the eye should be really very good. If your structure, your drawing is good, then it is only a fair amount of, you know, shading and all which will give this a very prompt look. So whenever you are drawing anything, like here I'm drawing the eye only, but whenever you are drawing anything, your drawing, your structure should be proper. As good as your drawing would be, your last result would be excellent. I'll just show you. Here's an my airports case. There's an airports between. So if I want to make a very good 3D kind of design, I should make the structure very clear. See here. And as soon as you get this drawing right, see here. Then it's just the shading you have to do. See? So simple, so easy. Just have to make the drawing correct, and if your drawing is correct, your basic is correct, then rest is very easy. Very, very easy. And if your structure is not correct, then how much you are, you know, making shading look pretty good, making coloring look pretty good, it won't look good to the viewer's eyes. So structure must be there, your drawing, your basic should be very good, and coloring part is just very easy. See, if I make a circle, it's a good circle, like, है ना? If I want to make it in a, you know, in a sphere, I just want to make a shading likewise. And it is looking like a sphere, a ball. And if my drawing is not correct, like my circle is not correct, it cannot be, you know, help of any kind of shading, any kind of coloring, light and darks. I cannot, you know, make it a sphere. It may look like a stone if I, you know, likewise here I give some shading over here, you know, and a part of shining over. It doesn't look like a sphere, a proper circle. It looks like a circle. So whenever you are trying to draw anything, the first and basic thing is to get the structure very clear, very right. And if the structure would be right, the drawing would look awesome, believe you me. If you do have any questions about this, just shoot them. I'll try to answer them all. Here I am just, you know, I'm just caring about the structure I'm making. Rest will be okay, I know. The basic upper lip, lower lip, pupil, highlight, teardrop, these all should be there. And other than all, don't worry, it will look good, believe you me. So I've made this structure. See, it was so simple and so easy. Now we'll try to, yes, we'll try to shade it now as realistic as we can. So I'm taking this HB pencil. This is basically a HB. So why I'm taking this? This is the a bit harder on the part, and it will give light shades of graphite. So before shading, you must check the nib should be very sharp. It should be really sharp. Then only the shading would look very nice. Otherwise, we can see some strokes in between, and that doesn't look nice. See, I told you once the structure is okay, from there on everything would be fine. And this part, it is never white. It looks white, but it is never white. So we have to give some shading to this to make look like it's a spherical thing inside the eye. Just I like told you na, when you go and see the anatomy of an eye, you will find out this is a rounded shape. This is never ever white. And the brows, they always, act as a natural shading to the eye. So there will always be a kind of, darkness beneath the upper lip of the eye. So you should actually always shade it a bit darker underneath the eye, the upper eye, or rather I say the upper lip of the eye. See, I'm using this single pencil. I'm not using any other, grade of graphite. I'm just using this single pencil. down.
क्या इधर भी अन्ननाथ